Okay, one more. Just two more, because I like the red ones. Okay.
You ate all my red ones.
I'm sorry.
Are you?
Nope.
I didn't think so.
Are we starting?
I was going to.
I need to finish my gummy bear.
Are you not a pro? Can you not? You want the last green one?
Nope, I'm done. But thank you for offering.
Hey, welcome to a brand new episode of the Matt and Fiona Show. We're back.
We're back.
Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed last week's episode. This week is going to be just as good on a hot button topic.
Yes.
We should have sound effects.
No.
Come on, like Kramer. Boop, 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 boom.
Nope.
No? All right. There's that idea. Trying to liven it up for you guys. And get nowhere. All right. Today, we're kicking it off.
With.
Am I kicking this one off or are you kicking this one off?
Today we're kicking it off. Or I should say we're touching on a topic.
It's exciting and matters to everyone.
No, it does. I'm a little passionate about this one. I'm a little passionate about this one. Comparison kills. And, right? That's what we're doing.
I'm waiting for the passion to come out.
Okay. Touche. No, we're talking about comparison kills. And, stop it. I think for me, I'll just dive into it this way.
Dive in. Like
As a former high school teacher, and coach, and now
elementary school teacher and middle school teacher.
all just everything.
Youth leader.
Yeah. Okay. Anywho, but I have watched, and we'll just talk primarily with the girls. I have watched girls. I mean, and I was one of them at one point too.
You're still a girl.
I am still a girl, but I was one of the girls we're going to talk about. But I've watched for years. I've watched girls in particular, young ladies, heck, older ladies, continually compare themselves to other people, and in continuing to do so, just hurting themselves because they're beating themselves up and they're looking down on themselves because they're continually comparing themselves to somebody else that they think is better, is prettier, is taller, is shorter.
Has straighter hair.
Has straighter hair, yeah. Has the right color eyes. Yeah.
The wrong color eyes.
I mean, and we could literally go on.
And it works. Obviously, it works more in the negative space, but it works in the, like, on both sides of that aisle, both sides of that conversation. There are a ton of people who will puff themselves up because they are taller or they have the right color hair in their mind, right?
Right.
In comparison. Obviously, typically it's discussed on the negative side.
But I was going to say, in all the times, I used to have girls, when I was a high school math teacher, I used to have girls continually. I had an open door, and they were high schoolers. My door was always open, and they would continually come in, and they would always be upset because of what somebody said, what somebody did, what they thought somebody else said. And they were continually taking stuff that was said, making it worse. I mean, somebody has this many friends, somebody doesn't like me, somebody, gosh, I mean, I could go on forever with all the things, but I would continually watch these girls beat themselves up because they were continually comparing themselves to somebody else's life. And they were beating themselves up by looking at parts of other people's lives, just parts of it, that they would want those parts without honestly knowing the truth.
Well, and whether it's a high school student comparing themselves to another high school student, or a high school student comparing themselves to some movie star,
Yes.
some starlet, or whatever.
Yep.
And keep in mind, so often in today's day and age, we think about this as strictly a social media issue, which it is.
Which it is.
But we're both talking about examples that happened long before social media existed. Even prior to MySpace. Kids, ask your parents about MySpace. It was terrible.
Yeah.
And I was never on it. Yes.
Back then it was magazines. It was magazines and TV shows, but yeah.
Miss 16, right?
There's
Was
so
that the
many.
name?
There's so many, but yes, that is one of them.
Yes, I got one.
Just one of them.
Add in social media.
Add in social media. It
And this
has
is
multiplied, and we know this.
incredibly worse. And
So this is what I see a lot. And again, a lot of you probably know this, but I think this is just, we've wanted to make this a reminder because this is something that I mean, everybody's fought with it, but this is something that I don't ever want to fight with. So I've not that it doesn't happen, but I work very hard to keep this whole side of it. But what you see in front of you so often, whether it's the mom at the pool with the beautiful shots, or, the beautiful dressed kids, or the perfect dinner night, or the perfect family picnic, or.
those are all our kids.
What happens is you are literally seeing a snapshot of anything. And you are seeing a micro.
Not only that, because that is 100%
Yes.
accurate, but, and we say this, and adults know this, kids know this. Deep down, we know this is true, but we forget. We allow ourselves to be
Caught up.
Well, caught up, deluded, confused,
I think there's just
manipulated.
So,
We
yes.
allow ourselves to be
That's a good one.
manipulated to think that photo that we saw, or that video, or that vacation destination, whatever the heck it is, that's the one photo where they didn't use the filter, and they didn't affect it, and they didn't sit there posing for 100 shots to get the one shot that makes it look like they are alone on the beach and it's private.
Yeah.
Right? That they didn't use the AI filter to take out all of the crowds that were with them as they were in the magical spot by themselves.
Oof, man, we could go down so many veins with this.
It is, and I spend a lot of time following some very informative marketers who explain what's going on and what's current and what's valid. But you look at the majority of your favorite celebrities that you like or your kids like. They're airbrushed. They've got filters that you would not believe. They're fake.
There's not much reality to it.
And I hate to say that because people don't want to believe that. They don't want to believe that it's fake. But almost everything that you see online is fake. Even if it is just curated. And you made a really good statement earlier that people continually compare themselves on their worst day
Yeah.
to someone's best
day.
Right? To that one photo that they posted out of the 47 that they took. I took and sent a photo of our youngest to a friend of mine who loves him, thinks he's adorable.
He is.
He totally is.
Yes, he is.
I went through 50 photos. Not because they were bad, mainly because they were blurry, because he never stops.
He never stops.
But like, I'm sending it to a friend of mine who would love the blurry shot. But I sent them a couple of the pretty shots where he's smiling and he's looking, and the filter on my phone was working. Portrait mode by Apple was working wonders, right? Like, we curate our lives online.
Yeah.
To a point, and I'd never thought about it this way till I heard somebody on one of the shows I was listening to talk about how their social feed is limited, and it's not limited because they post a limited amount. It's limited because they post and keep a curated view into their life that they want to portray. And when you sit back and you look at all of the people that you follow, all the people that you like, and especially if you're a teen, you are looking at typically...
Or even in your 20s.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You are looking at someone's curated life. You are looking at a highlight reel. If you go and watch any sports star, right? And they're playing, they're showing a highlight. Or if you're watching an actor, and they're sending out headshots and a sizzle reel, you are only seeing, you're not seeing the 50 lines that they flubbed, the terrible sitcoms they were on, the stupid guest spots. You are seeing the 4 times that they were like a leading man or leading woman or leading whatever in a movie or in a TV show and had a line. That's our lives, especially digitally, have become a sizzle reel. And it is not, heck, my life online is a sizzle reel.
That's what I was going to say. Everybody is only posting what they actually want posted.
That's why we don't edit this show. This show is real. She's wearing a little makeup. I'm not, but I did my hair today. And I spent a lot of time getting the lighting right. But I'll tell you right now, if you come and sit in one of the chairs, that one or that one, that are in our family room right now, if we sit down and have this same conversation, I will not look this good because I don't have 3-point lighting making me look this charmingly handsome. She always looks this good. But there's cables everywhere. You're seeing a wonderful view. It looks good. It sounds good because we're wearing mics that you can't see. This is fairly real for you.
Our kids are asleep, so there's no screaming in the
So it's
background.
quiet.
There's no toys that have been scattered.
Music. But there's stuff everywhere off camera that you can't see that is making this look the way it looks.
And you spend time doing this.
I do.
Yeah.
But everybody knows that in their mind, but you ignore it. So when it comes to whether it's the way you look, the way you dress, what car you drive, what house you live in, what address you're at, where you are in your job, your relationships, your business, you compare it to other people with no frame of reference for where they're at. I own an AV company. As much as I try not to, I compare myself to all these other AV companies. And I will give you a handful of very quick examples. I have a friend who has an AV company in the city. By the city, I'm not talking about Toronto, I'm talking about Manhattan. All he does is work in multi-million-dollar apartments in Manhattan. I cannot compare my business in London, Ontario to his business in Manhattan. Why? Because we don't have multi-million-dollar apartments. They don't exist here. I have a friend that works up in Muskoka. Beautiful lake country.
It's gorgeous.
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 The homes are, for the most part, millionaire homes.
Oh, yes. Easily.
There's hockey players and business magnates and actors and actresses.
The elite.
It is it's a very nice area, right? And there's a lot of normal people there too, but it's really, really nice. I can't compare the work that we do here in London, or even here in the lake, on one of the Great Lakes, to what happens in Muskoka. The same way I don't compare myself to the guys that are working in Dallas or Miami. I got a friend that does shades in Miami.
Yeah.
So if you watch anything on South Beach, he does shading in all of those penthouse apartments.
Right.
Makes a fortune. Because it's a penthouse apartment in Miami. But if I sit back and go, oh, woe is me.
Right.
Our business is just not, we're not where they are.
That's dangerous.
I will be in a perpetual state of depression.
Yeah.
Because I'm comparing myself to someone or something that, again, is not accurate for my life. It's not an apples to apples comparison. And even if it was, why are you comparing yourself to someone that's like you?
So I was just going to say, because that is so what happens. Instead of...
I was so on a roll. Okay.
You can keep going.
No, go.
Just thinking.
No, I want to hear what you say.
But I think one of the things that needs to come in with all of this is, because you're right. And I mean, that's the same thing as, people comparing, even they compare themselves to their neighbor or to their colleague because they got a new home or they got a new vehicle. Simple little things day to day. Forget all the big fancy people, but the normal people day to day. She was saying I was big fancy. You are big fancy to me, but
Thanks.
You're welcome. But one of the things, and again, I always come back to the kids, but it's true. One of the things that I always talk to the kids about, and I think this is what is so important, and this is what I've done to combat that. I limit my social media, first of all, because I don't need to see half the stuff that's out there because I don't want that to come on. But this is one of the things I do to combat that. And I've worked really hard at it, and it's now become part of who I am. I have learned to be grateful. And would I like a bigger home? Yes. Would I like a fancier car? Sure. Not opposed to it whatsoever. Would I don't know, like to go on more vacations? Absolutely. Who wouldn't? However, you want to know what? I am grateful for what I have. I am grateful for our marriage. I am grateful for our kids. I am grateful for our home. I am grateful for my vehicle. I make sure that what I do have, I am grateful for.
Yeah.
And you want to know what? There's people out there that look at us and be like, man, I wish what they had. But there's also a lot of people that would look right over us or right past us. And I don't really care.
And I like to think about the aspect of like the only person you're competing against and the only person you should ever compete against is yourself. Because that's the only person that really matters, right? When it comes to a comparison side.
Right.
Right? Whether we're talking about business, whether we're talking about life, whether we're talking about relationships, you can't compare yourself to someone else's relationships because you're not the same person.
No.
You have different personalities, you have different goals, you have all kinds of different things.
Well,
The only thing you should be using as a yardstick or a meter stick,
keep going. Just move on.
is the word. You can use the word to, see, as long as you're lining up with that, that's fine.
Yeah, what is God's plan and purpose for your life? What did He create you to be? What does He want for you? Are you doing what He wants you to do? And, we talked about visions and goals and setting visions and goals for your life that line up with the Word of God. So compare yourself to that. Where are you? Are you doing, if you set out a vision or you set out goals, where are you in that? What have you achieved for your personal goals, your personal visions that you've hopefully prayed about, got scriptures to stand on, So compare yourself to that. Compare yourself to the Word of God, but also be grateful. Like, I think that's one of the biggest things
Gratitude's massive.
to keep my head off of. I mean, because even if I can't compare myself to where I want to be, as far as some of the things that we're still believing for and whatnot, not there yet.
Well, it's...
But I'm grateful for where we are.
If you can learn gratitude, and if you can learn to push yourself
Yes.
to be a better version of you. Because in the end, that's what it comes down to. If you are constantly comparing yourself to other people, other things, you are fighting the insecurity of not being comfortable in your own skin. So when you can learn to get past that and get comfortable in you and in who God says you are,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely.
Then none of the other stuff matters. And in the short term, as you're working towards that, and I say this to a ton of my clients in regards to their children, because they ask me questions about technology and the things. Shut it off. If you can't sit there and scroll it without getting jealous, turn it off.
Upset, anxious.
Block it.
Yes.
Like, you don't have to be on it. You don't have to participate in it.
No.
And I'm continually baffled at the number of people who tell me they have to.
You don't.
For work or for market research or for whatever. If it frustrates you to the point where you are feeling insecure, you're feeling inadequate, then just turn it off.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not worth it because it steals your peace, it takes your joy, and it makes you focus on the wrong things so that you can't focus.
you can't move forward if
No.
you're constantly sitting there comparing yourself to to something else, to some other abstract idea.
To some other false reality.
Figure out what your vision for you is. Figure out what the word says you are to be.
Search it out. Who are you in Christ? Because that's what matters.
And then all you have to do is strive to meet that goal.
Build yourself
And
up
nothing else will matter.
for who you are supposed to be. So again, yeah, I wanted to do this one. We talked about it just because of how much we see this today.
Every day.
Every day, continually. And we also know that it's easy to do. It's easy to compare.
That's what they built it for.
Yes. But even before all the stuff, seek the word, get in the word and find out, compare yourself to the word and find a heart of gratitude. Find gratitude in what you do have. Because when you can be grateful, whether it's where you want to be in life or not, or whether it's who you think you are, that ultimate version of you, but if you can be grateful for the little things and what you have, you can find joy, you can find peace, and it's so much easier to move forward and go on. And sometimes that's a fight, but fight through it. And be grateful for where you are, because honestly, it doesn't matter where anybody else is in life.
No.
Because especially if it has no impact on you.
You do you. And on that note, thank you so much for joining us. Just stay off it. Stop comparing yourself
Stop
to
comparing
others.
yourself to others. It's not worth it.
So dumb. Incredibly dumb.
You are enough. Cliche.
Ooh.
Cliche.
We should make t-shirts.
But it is. You are absolutely enough, and God created you to be exactly who He wanted you to be, and He never intended for you to be somebody else. So be who God created you to be, and stop comparing yourself to others, because God didn't create you to be somebody else.
We would break so many mics if we actually had mics, because you're just dropping them left, right, and center.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to connect with us, you can follow us on all the socials that we just told you to turn off. Oh, Lord.
Just go to YouTube. You'll
Yeah.
just be there,
Yeah.
and you'll just see our stuff.
Yeah. and don't compare our follower count. Or help us build it up.
Ooh, that's a good one.
But yeah, you can find us everywhere at Matt and Fiona or the Matt
We
and
are
Fiona
trying
Show.
to build you up, so.
Yeah, it's encouragement.
Yes, this is what we're trying to do.
So block everybody else. Just us. Focus. But again, thank you so much for watching. We love doing this and letting you inside a little bit. We look forward to seeing you next week for another great episode. That's all the time we have for tonight. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next week.
Yes, you will. See you there.